have 3 lovely children, and lately, they're obsessed with playing cards. So the other night, we're playing a game of cards on a Nairobi evening, rainy as always, and I stumbled upon the Joker. A strange card it is. Only 2 in a pack of 52. The odd one out. Have you ever felt like that? In a room full of people, looking for the exits, resisting the urge to jump out. A joker in a pack of cards. Well, that's kind of the story of my life. I grew up in far, far away land, in a place called Kapsara. Anyone ever heard of Kapsara? No, I didn't think so. Kapsara is a sleepy little village. It's a collection of shops on the Cherangani Hills. Scenic, beautiful, green, lush with tea plantations. Somewhere in the vicinity of Kitale, facing Mount Elgon, and obviously very, very far away from the Nairobi blue sky. And there my life begins. I was brought up by Guku, my grandmother, matriarch of a large family, farmer extraordinaire, who showered me with love and discipline, in equal measure, as and when required, as only an African grandmother can. I'm sure most of you can relate. You see, back then, African grandmothers were Proverbs 13:24 personified. Spare the rod and spoil the child. Forget about this chocolate-wielding and sweet-giving grandmothers of nowadays. So there my life began in Kapsara, mixed-raced child, closest to Caucasian anyone had ever seen. The odd one out. Naturally, my nickname became Zungu, the white kid. So my early years began running around as a barefoot, skinny, scrawny child, answering to the name, "Where, Mzungu?" My mother, school teacher that she is, was not too excited by this prospect. So she whisked me up, took me to live with her on the foothills of Mount Kenya. Yes, we have a thing for hills. In a place called Kagomo, not so sleepy a village, where all your policemen are hatched. There was excitement in Kagomo. This white kid is coming to town to teach our children Kizungu with a British twang to match. Enough of this Kikuyu. But we all know life doesn't go like that. First of all, I couldn't speak any English to save my life, and all the other children were speaking Kikuyu. So I did what we humans are predisposed to do. Survival for the fittest. I adapted fast. And soon, I was speaking the most fluent Nyeri Kikuyu you ever heard, and belting out Sunday school tunes. Demodigari wamaito, demodigari. Join me. Demodigari wamaito, demodigari wamaito. Much to the disappointment of all Kagumo residents. So eventually, we found our way to Nairobi. And my mom put me in a posh convent school. English with a British twang, here we come. So there I was, this kid from Nyeri who spoke Kikuyu, in a posh convent school my mother could ill afford. The odd one out. So while my classmates jetted off to Mombasa or Italy to catch the occasional World Cup, I packed my bags, got onto the next Eldoret Express at Majako's bus station, off to Kapsara to see my Goku for my dose of love and discipline in equal measure. Sometimes I didn't like being in that school. I didn't like it when I was called from a list of fee defaulters to sit outside sister's office until our fees were settled. But life is interesting. Every moment and every struggle you go through prepares you for life ahead. The trick is to see those moments as a blessing in disguise. And when I look back at my life, I often wonder whether I'd be where I am today if I'd always got what I wanted. I don't think so. So fast forward to my university life, and after a life of all-girl institutions, I landed myself in Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology, which from the look of things was an all-male institution, save for the 5 girls in my architecture class. Okay, I exaggerate. But the nickname of this university was Juja Boys and 1 Girl. So you get the drift. We were few, and I was among the odd ones out. We were an endangered species, actually. When freshers landed on campus, it was called the Gold Rush. 2,000 men descending upon the few and had to find fresher girls. It was a sight to behold. Quite interesting. And there I was, after school life in all-girl institutions, in an institution with only 10% women. I had to learn to be assertive, despite my shyness, if only to keep the gold rushers away. I wasn't so successful. I ended up marrying one. So I graduated 6 years later. Yes, it takes 6 years to make an architect. And straight into the life of construction sites, wearing a hard hat and answering to the name One Architect, because they'd never seen a female architect and they didn't know what to call me. B Architect, Madam Architect, Mr. Architect. No, One Architect would have to do. So sometimes I'd be alone, only female on an entire construction site, workers nearly falling off the scaffolding at the sight of a woman. Because the only one they ever saw was Mama Pima, who served them githeri at lunchtime. And occasionally, there'd be the cat calling. But my whole life had prepared me for that moment of being the odd one out, of being a joker in a pack of cards. And I was at home. I embraced it. I embraced it in boardrooms with all male consultancy and client teams. I embraced it when I joined the leadership of the Architectural Association of Kenya, the AAK. And yes, I embraced it when I became the first female president of the AAK. After a good 50 years. So, have you ever felt like the odd one out? There I was, this mixed-race child from Kapsara who spoke Kikuyu in another odd one out situation, and I was embracing it. So when was the last time you felt like you were sticking out like a sore thumb in a room full of people, feeling like you're a square peg in a round hole, like an outcast, like an imposter? In those moments, it's difficult to embrace that odd feeling. It's difficult to feel like you're unique, and because you are unique, you are special. But you need to embrace those moments more. It's life's way of strengthening you. And I look back at my life, those uncomfortable situations have taught me so many lessons. 1, get out of your comfort zone. Explore new frontiers. Heck, move to a place where you don't speak the language. And maybe, like me, you'll be speaking fluent Kikuyu in record time and singing, Demuthigari Wamaito. on a TEDx stage. Break glass ceilings. Shatter them. Shatter them so that others may fly to the stars. When the situation presents itself, embrace it. Open the door. Hold it open so that others may pass through. And maybe they won't catcall the next female on a construction site because you dealt with it. See it. See it when others are feeling uncomfortable and like the odd ones out, and let them know it's okay to be different. Difference is good. Look for opportunities where you're constantly learning. Don't always be the most knowledgeable in a room. Run away from situations where you're not learning anything. Surround yourselves with people who bring out the best version of you. How else are you going to soar like an eagle if you hang around the chicken? So, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. When the odds are stacked up against you, embrace the odds. It's life's way of making you stand up so that you can stand out. So tell me, when was the last time you stood out like a joker in a pack of cards? Thank you.